Aglorev magazine live is brought to you by
Beroga Leilani's Energy Exchange. Express yourself without saying a word.
And
Aglorev Entertainment. Mind, body, soul, energy, healing. Hey, welcome back to Aglorev Magazine Live, your reliable source for assistance with navigating the 3D. Eclipse season is doing everything it needs to for me, clearing away out what I refuse to let go of because I love so deeply. But what doesn't serve my highest self and purpose, infusing some surprising luck and replacing it with what is necessary. How has it affected you? I told my ex-wife last week. The person that hit me failed sobriety and was arrested. And I got my diesel truck this week. Next, my fifth wheel. And then the touring quests begin. I have a mission. And if you need help discovering and understanding yours, I can help with that. But for now, I have some complimentary astrological advice, giving you a little added guidance in your 3D lifestyle. The holidays are approaching, as well as a lot of holiday scams, usually of the romantic nature. I have ways to safeguard and protect yourself. The VMAs are bringing back some classics and showing some overdue respect. Trump is disciplining Big Pharma, and Bachelor in Paradise adds a twist to its finale. Big Brother is getting treacherous, and Love is Blind UK has a surprising tie the knot rate. And then comes the fun part, movie recommendations and some giggles. Thank you for your attention, and tune in each week to stay informed and prepared. I'm here for you. If you need further assistance or personalised attention, contact me through my site. If you do not want to keep being stuck in the same cycle over and over, then you need to pay attention. The focus is on reflecting on the decisions that you've made in the past, the actions that you've taken, and really learning the lessons before you move forward, so that you don't actually repeat those same cycles, especially because we have just come out of our first eclipse of this set, and we still have another one coming. So this is the time to allow things to fall where they need to fall, instead of trying to force an outcome or force something to happen. With the sun crossing over the south node as a result of the eclipse, things from your past will be brought back to the surface. Whether it is past memories, past people, or past groups, past experiences. The good news is that we have Mercury Cazimi happening at the same time that it's sextiles Jupiter. And this can bring a load of insight and realizations that actually allow you to zoom out and see the bigger picture of those cycles that you caught in, so that you are better able to take action and move forward. And there's an intense story that's going to be playing out in the background of our lives until around November 27th. Saturn retrograde, returning to Pisces. This is going to be a final chapter of sorts. For those with their Saturn in Pisces, Saturn return, but also it's the final chapter in a 30-year cycle that the collective has been experiencing since Saturn started its cycle through the zodiac back in the late 1990s. Saturn's transit through the signs and houses are intense periods of destruction and reconstruction. Every time Saturn enters a new house or sign in that area of your birth chart, it feels like we've been spending years building up this area of our lives from the ground up. And the second Saturn enters and rears its head in that house, everything suddenly falls apart. But technically, just like Pluto, that's not the case. Saturn is not destroying for the sake of destruction. Saturn is trying to encourage a necessary revamp, a rebrand, restructure, or refinement. Basically saying, hey, let's reevaluate the foundations that you're building for yourself. Is this aligned? Sustainable? If not, I'll destroy and rebuild from the ground up. And better. Because this is going to be long-lasting. So try to look at Saturn's transits less as earthquakes that you're trying to survive, and more so like it's encouraging reinforcements and you're welcoming the renovation. And even with that being said, every time Saturn enters a new sign or house, we still feel like everything in that area of our life is suddenly falling apart or just going away. But if we look back, by the end of Saturn's transit in those signs and in that house, we're always proud of what we survived and what we went through, and the growth, wisdom, and knowledge that it taught us and helped us build. But we're also satisfied with what we've newly built in that area as well. Saturn was in Pisces from March of 2023 to May of 2025, then briefly re-entered Aries the last week of May of 2025, and is now dipping back into Pisces, where it'll stay retrograded until November 27th, and then go back direct on November 27th, and stay direct until February 16th, 2026, and then officially enter Aries and stay in Aries for a bit. So, there's something with the story of our lives that has played out from March of 2023 to May of 2025 that technically isn't over, or still needs some necessary reinforcements, possible course correction. We're tying up loose ends, finalising something in the Pisces area of our birth charts. Now some good news. September 12th to 15th looks very favourable. We're in the heart of eclipse season, but we have some positive astrology happening. If you've ever heard, don't do anything during retrograde or eclipse season, it's not literally true. Retrogrades are periods for us to slow down. They're challenging, but they are here to help you slow down, see the clear picture, reflect back on something, review and refine. Eclipse seasons are the exact opposite. God, creator, source, universe, whatever your terminology, is basically hitting the fast forward button on our lives and speeding things along. Which is why whatever was inevitably going to happen takes place usually in or around the eclipse seasons. It speeds things along and helps us get on the right track. So when we're looking at the positive astrology happening within an eclipse season, especially during the heart of eclipse season, this is like the most favourable time frame to get something done, or make a big move, or do something huge. The heart of eclipse season is September 7th to September 21st. The 12th to the 15th looks favourable, with the Sun and Mercury forming a cazimi in the sign of Virgo, where Mercury is home, and then also forms simultaneous sextiles to Jupiter over in Cancer, which is also still direct. What makes this time frame so favourable isn't just the strong activation of Jupiter being the planet of luck, optimism, growth, opportunities. It's actually the blending of those alignments, the Sun and Mercury conjunct each other a lot. This is our third out of the 4 times that Sun and Mercury are forming a conjunction this year. But in next year, 2026, the Sun and Mercury form about 6 conjunctions. Now, with the Sun sextiling Jupiter and Mercury sextiling Jupiter. Sun and Mercury sextiles to Jupiter only happen twice a year. This is our second and final for both of them in 2025. Sun sextile Jupiter is a brilliant alignment, incredibly favourable. It's the blending of purpose with the Sun, an opportunity with Jupiter. And with Mercury sextile Jupiter, Jupiter is expanding Mercury, which is our mind, our interests, our perspective, our plans and ideas. And in the signs of Virgo and Cancer, Virgo's precision and detail-oriented mind is going to blend beautifully with Jupiter in Cancer's expansive, nurturing and protective energy, meaning that any intentional effort we put in around that window is going to yield the most abundant harvest, everything that we've been wanting or craving. If you'd like a more in-depth look at how these energies affect you specifically, contact me through my site. Romance scams are a form of fraud. They can lead to financial loss and emotional distress. Understanding how they work, spotting red flags, and knowing how to protect yourself is important when navigating the dating world. Romance scams happen when victims are deceived into false relationships by con people, con artists, who aim to steal their money or personal information. Scammers often use fake online profiles, carefully build trust over time. They'll then make emotional or urgent financial requests, such as claiming they need money for things like medical bills or travel expenses to meet in person. Romance scammers are skilled at creating convincing stories to manipulate their victims. Whilst their tactics may vary, there are common red flags to watch out for if you suspect a romance scam. They push for private conversations. Scammers prefer to move communication away from the dating websites. They may suggest that you move to instant messaging, WhatsApp, text, or phone chats instead. They ask a lot of personal questions about you. Con people, con artists, will try to gather details about your life, whilst revealing very little about themselves. Their backstory doesn't add up. The details may be inconsistent. They may claim impressive credentials, such as being highly educated, and yet have poor grammar and spelling. They try to establish a bond quickly. Scammers often use flattery, pet names, or exaggerated claims of love from the start to build trust and emotional dependence. They ask for financial help. They might hint at money problems early on, hoping you'll offer to help, or they may ask outright for funds, claiming it's for medical bills, emergencies, or travel to come see you. They always have an excuse to avoid meeting in person. Despite promises to visit, they frequently cancel plans, often citing financial difficulties or sudden emergencies. Their profile photos seem suspicious. An image search of their pictures may reveal that they belong to someone else, exposing their fake identity. Scammers sometimes use carefully chosen words to manipulate emotions and build trust. The phrases may seem sincere, but they are often red flags for deception. I've never felt this way before. Scammers create instant emotional connection to fast-track trust. Genuine relationships take time to develop, so beware of exaggerated declarations early on. Trust me, a common tactic to silence doubts. If someone insists that you trust them without offering proof, take a step back and question their motives. I need your help. Scammers use vague distress signals to pull at your emotions. They often hesitate at first, making that plea seem more believable before asking for money. I can't video chat right now. Excuses like a broken camera or bad internet often mean they're hiding their real identity. If they repeatedly dodge video chats, it's a major red flag. Something came up. Frequent last-minute cancellations and vague explanations often mean they're avoiding in-person meetings. If they keep delaying plans, they may not be who they claim. Recognizing these phrases can help you spot a romance scam before it's too late, and how to protect yourself from being scammed. Dating websites and apps can be useful tools for meeting someone new. It's wise, however, to be careful when communicating with potential romantic interests. You want to avoid being scammed. Don't share personal details. Be mindful of the information you share with someone you've just met online. Avoid giving out your full name, home address, or birth date, as scammers can use these details for fraud. Even seemingly harmless details, like your workplace or daily routines, can be exploited. You should also be careful when picking your username on dating sites. Don't include personal information like your location, like they're all from North London. Don't send money from anyone you've met online, no matter how convincing their story is. And this applies to cash, as well as transferring money via bank account, wire transfer. If the request is coming from someone you think you know, check with them offline to ensure that it's really them. Use trusted dating websites. Con artists tend to want to take the criminal activity off reputable dating websites as soon as possible. They're likely to try to convince you to interact with them through social media or texts, WhatsApp. This is so that the dating website has no proof other than asking you for money. If you're in touch with someone on this type of website, communicate with them through the site's messaging services until you have met them in person. Think twice before using your webcam or sharing photos. Be careful when using your webcam or sharing photos with a new online love interest, even if it's someone whom you think you know. The footage could be used against you. This applies to cameras on all devices, from computers and laptops to smartphones and tablets. Verify profile photos and stories. Scammers often use stolen profile photos to check if an image has been used elsewhere. Do a reverse image search on Google. If the same photo appears on multiple profiles with different names, it's likely a scam. Talk to family and friends if you're unsure about someone you've met online. Seek advice from a trusted friend or family member. They may notice red flags you haven't spotted, helping you avoid a costly mistake. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, don't ignore it. Scammers use emotional manipulation to make the request seem reasonable. But if someone's behavior raises concerns, take a step back. If you believe you've been targeted by a romance or dating scam, Don't hesitate to take action. Report these scams. Help prevent others from falling victim. You can report fake dating profiles to the websites that they're posted on. This will help the sites to close down any fraudulent accounts. If you've sent money or shared sensitive financial information, contact your bank immediately. They may be able to stop transactions or advise you on the next steps. Stay safe out there. Always remember that you come first. No one can or will love you better than you can. Always choose you. If you ever need help navigating the dating world, contact me through my site. From Busta Rhymes' electrifying performance to Mariah Carey's performing her hit song, We Belong Together. The 2025 Video Music Awards brought back early 2000s nostalgia. Hosted by LL Cool J at New York City's UBS Arena, the VMAs celebrated some of the greatest names in music. Some of the evening's highlights include Mariah Carey receiving the Vanguard Music Award. The belle of the night was Mariah Carey, who received the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award, the highest honorary award given to artists and directors for their profound impact on music videos and popular culture. Presented by Ariana Grande. The VMA was Mariah Carey's first. Mariah Carey addressed the audience, exclaiming, "What in the Sam Hill were you waiting for?" Dazzling the crowd in her gold rhinestone jumpsuit, Carey performed hits from her album Emancipation of Mimi. In celebration one of the album's 25th anniversary, Carey also won Best R&B Video for her recent single Type Dangerous. Her upcoming album, Here for It All, is set to be released on September 26th. Doja Cat's 80s-inspired performance proved why she is an icon. Doja Cat opened the VMAs with an 80s pop-themed performance that resembled Janet Jackson's iconic style. She performed her song, Jealous Type, and featured Kenny G in a saxophone solo. Lady Gaga swept the VMAs with Artists of the Year, Song of the Year, and many more. Lady Gaga led the night with the most VMA nominations and went on to win Artist of the Year and Best Collaboration for Die With a Smile, featuring Bruno Mars. She also won Best Art Direction and Best Direction for Abracadabra. Tate McRae commented herself as a force to be reckoned with. Tate McRae graced the crowd with performances of Sports Car and Revolving Door. In a white dazzling top and shorts, McRae and her dancers performed in a black sand pit with booms of fire. McRae has arguably cemented herself as the Britney Spears of Generation Z. With her commanding stage presence, versatility and agility, McRae went on to win VMAs for Best Editing and Song of the Summer. Sabrina Carpenter paid tribute to the LGBTQIA+ community. Sabrina Carpenter performed a New York City ballroom-inspired performance featuring her hit single, Tears. From her 7th studio album, Man's Best Friend, Carpenter used her performance to advocate for gender-expansive and queer communities with signs: if you hate, you'll never get laid, protect trans rights, support drag, and love each other. Carpenter later swept the VMAs, winning awards for Best Pop Artist, Best Album, and Best Visual Effects. Busta Rhymes received his first ever VMA Rock the Boat Award. Rap legend Busta Rhymes received the inaugural Rock the Bells Visionary Award. In the 90s and early 2000s, rap-themed performances. Rhymes performed hits Pass the Cavassier Part 2, Touch It Remix, Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Could See, and Scenario. He was joined on stage by Joyner Lucas, Papoose, Glorilla, and hype man Spliff Star. Cat's Eye is trailblazing to iconic status in the music industry. Cat's Eye won Best Push Performance of the Year for Touch, after gracing the red carpet in mini dresses with touches of roses and silver. Cat's Eye graced the VMA pre-show stage to perform the hit Gnarly in a high-energy performance with sharp dance moves and unified movement. Cat's Eye showed why they are a rising star powerhouse in the music industry. Natto and Ice Spice shared the stage after a long-rumoured feud. Previous VMA winners, Natto and Ice Spice, stunned the crowd as they presented Best Push Performance of the Year to Cat's Eye. Both women complimented each other on their outfits and promoted their recent song collaboration, Gyat. Osbourne received an emotional tribute. Musicians Steve Tyler, Joe Parry, Youngblood, and Nono Betancourt performed an electrifying tribute to the late heavy metal icon Ozzy Osbourne, who passed away in July, featuring songs Crazy Train, Changes, and Mama I'm Coming Home. The rock stars had the audience on their feet as they honoured the legacy of Ozzy Osbourne. Rest in peace, Ozzy. The Trump administration is targeting misleading drug advertisements by initiating rulemaking to close a 1997 loophole that enables drug advertisers to conceal safety risks in broadcasts and digital ads. The Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, and the Federal Drug Administration, FDA, sent thousands of warning letters across the pharmaceutical industry on Tuesday. Sources familiar with the old letter told Fox that companies who practice widespread advertising like Hims and Hers are amongst those receiving the notice. Fox News Digital also obtained a copy of the letter sent to pharmaceutical companies, which outlines concerns that patients are not seeing a fair balance of the information regarding a drug product, and directing the company to remove any non-compliant advertising and bring all promotional communications into compliance. For far too long, the FDA has permitted misleading drug advertisements, distorting the doctor-patient relationship, and creating increased demand for medications. Regardless of clinical appropriateness, FDA Commissioner Marty McCarry, MD, MPH, told Fox News Digital in a statement, drug companies spend up to 25% of their budget on advertising. Those billions of dollars would be better spent on lowering drug prices for everyday Americans. McCarry added, the letters to various companies are being sent out over the course of Tuesday afternoon. And it is unclear whether any companies have had the opportunity to respond. The notice sent by the two health-related agencies also cites a 2024 review in the Journal of Pharmaceutical Health Services Research, which showed that whilst every pharmaceutical social media posts highlights drug benefits, only 33% of these companies mentioned potential harms. The Federal Food, Drug and Cosmetic Act, FDCA, a law dating back to 1938 and signed into law by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, empowers the FDA to enact appropriate regulations for pharmaceutical advertising. Social media advertisements also apply the FDCA, and regulations set forth by the FDCA. Patients deserve the truth about the medications they're prescribed, said HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in the statement to Fox News Digital. For nearly 3 decades, drug companies have gamed the system to mislead families whilst pocketing billions. Those days are over, Kennedy concluded. We are restoring honesty and accountability in drug advertising to protect patients and rebuild public trust per FDA regulations. A written warning letter, like the one sent by the agency on Tuesday, is the first step in reprimanding drug companies and is one of the FDA's most commonly used methods of enforcement. Okay, so this season of Bachelor in Paradise, they added a few twists and little things to the finale. With the added prize money bonus, it did make the contestants, if you want to call them, the participants, a bit more cutthroat, which is an interesting dynamic. It wasn't really focused as much on the engagement as it was on the funds. And then you have people lobbying to show their need for the money, which is almost akin to begging. Then you have this fellow with a Napoleon complex who comes in to attack Kat. Okay, first of all, the fact that you're harboring so much resentment in you. See, this is why it's hard for me to date short kings, or whatever you want to call them. Gravity challenged fellas. I have tried, they are attractive, they are cute faces, but unfortunately that Napoleon complex rears its head no matter how much I don't want it to, no matter how much I soothe them. They always feel slighted, and especially, unfortunately, if they are a Caucasian male, because unfortunately, being the apex predator, if you will, a Caucasian male in the demographic hierarchy, you cannot argue that they are going to get the most privileges and rights. However, being a white male that is of a less stature, of a shorter stature, and being denied certain things creates a dichotomy in the brain that I am entitled to everything, so if I can't have it, I'm going to ruin it instead. So there are certain types of Caucasian males that you need to be careful of, and that's just one demographic that I've kind of, you have to, of course everyone is their own person, but as a statistical analysis that I have found from dating that demographic, I haven't found one worth the aggravation that I put up with. So that being said, having this Napoleon complex fella come back and attack Kat, first of all, my guess is that she was texting these things to John Henry before Dale came in. Dale was not there when she first got there, and she probably, those were her intentions going in. Then she met Dale, it changed. Now, this Napoleon complex fella, I'm not even going to say his name because he doesn't deserve it, because he only came there for his 5 minutes, and I don't want to give him any more for all of the people that are watching this. But the thing is, he felt slighted. See, the thing is, she did not even say they weren't friends. He asked, are we close, good friends? Which is different. So she took a second to think, and then he chastised her for it and started to curse and swear. For him to react so emotionally strong, he fancied Kat. He felt slighted on both levels because she friend-zoned him, so he figured he would settle for that. And then when she denied the friendship, he felt double slighted. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just, from an observation, that is how I interpret his feelings and behaviors. Now, he has no right to feel that way because she owes him nothing. And for him to come back and attack her so aggressively and so passionately shows that there are obviously some feelings attached, and that's why he was fuming about it once he left the island. Now, here is the part that gets crazy. The girl that he left with, is backing him up on this. Now, ladies, please know, if a fella you are romantically interested in is passionately charging a case against a hot, beautiful woman, don't support him in that. What are you thinking? That is the classical pick-me behavior. The fact that she comes in riled up against Kat. Why are you so upset with Kat? Now, he may have convinced you that it was because they are the reason that they got kicked off the island, but you need to look deeper. You need to know what's really going on there. He fancies Kat. Kat slighted him, then slighted him of friendship. He feels aggressively, passionately rejected, and so he wants to ruin her time and her relationship because he wants her to feel some of what he's feeling. Now, if you are going to co-sign that as a female that is romantically interested in this man, that is your own stupidity and ignorance. I'm sorry, I just have to say it. If you think that a man is going to passionately put energy into something that he is not interested in, instead of just like being indifferent, saying like F her, okay, we're done with it, whatever. But if he's going to keep investing energy into it, you need to think about that. You need to watch actions more than you do the words. See where that energy's going. So after that finale, they probably broke up because he didn't need her to be his foot soldier anymore. And then she realized that he was a dick too. Anyway, but yeah, that Napoleon complex is real. So be careful of that with that demographic. Now, to Kat and Dale, it sucks because they do have a lot of... I hope they are doing well. I hope they are still together, and I hope they are making it work because they had great relationship skills. In spite of the fact that I think he's DL, maybe he's fluid. Maybe, I mean, I don't want to guess on their future, but for this moment, right now, they have good chemistry. They have... He fights for her, he protects her, he defends her, he calms her down, he pacifies her, he does everything. He's the hero complex, but he can also blow up if he is not the hero. So it's a delicate balance. Unfortunately, they did leave early. They voted for them to leave, and yeah, I don't know if that was fair. I think the whole voting for them, in any other show, okay, but Bachelor in Paradise, I mean, I guess they do not love. Anyway, so Kat and Dale left, which left us with Alex and Andre and Jess and Spencer. The one thing I did agree with the finale is that they did not put them against each other. Did not say only one couple could win. It came down to the fact that they surprised them by saying you could have love or money, and then when they pick love, they said, okay, we can give you some money too. So essentially, I think what they wanted to do was set them up with a good little nest egg. The engagement was not focused on as much in this season. However, Jess and Spencer got engaged. I hope it works. They do have the potential to do it. However, she may find him to lack a little bit of ambition for her liking, and that may break them up. He's quite eager, and I don't know what his profession is. Hopefully it's a good one, because that's the only area where I can see her losing her patience with him and where there could be issues, which a lot of relationships falter because of financial things. So this little nest egg, they got 190k, so hopefully that helps them get through some of those bumps, at least in the beginning. Alex and Andrew also won the money, but they only got 125. There were 3 envelopes and they got to pick, so the left-handers took the farthest left, and yeah, anyway, yeah, it was a surprise finale. Some of it was upsetting, but it did show you what people are willing to go through to ruin your relationship in real life. So be careful, 1, who you give your details of your relationship to, 2, who you give access and feel as if they can comment on your relationship, which you do by sharing things with them constantly, and 3, just basically frenemies, enemies. Protect your relationship at all costs if it means something to you. Do not give others the right, or feel they have the right, to invade or interject their opinions. I know that is difficult to do, especially if you are part of a crew that always tells each other everything. Maybe a mum and sisters that are always chatting and gossiping. Yes, you even need to protect it from them, at least until you're ready for it to end. Then you can let them have at it and tell them all about stuff and let them go. But until you have made that decision to leave, try your best to keep it sacred and pure in between the pair of you, and ask them to do the same for relationships to last and be strong, and not have a lot of outside opinions that cloud your judgment. So that being an example, the Bachelor in Paradise did have a lot of good communication skills. It did show that. It did show how you can kind of date back and forth and still find your match. However, it did also show that sometimes if you do date, you may lose that person's interest, and it may cause a little bit of chaos. And you need to be willing to accept that, handle that, and know what you are, how you're going to act. Bailey, by all rights, when she found out about Jeremy, if she was not on a show, I hope she would have left. Things are a little bit tricky when you are on a reality show, obviously, but hopefully you can watch these behaviours and learn from their mistakes and know how to behave, or how you want to behave if such a circumstance would happen to you. That's why reality shows are good practice, so you can learn from their mistakes without having to do it yourself. So watch them with an open eye, an open mind, and recognise what is something you will accept and what is something that you should never accept, and how you will behave, and put up that boundary to keep those things from happening to you, because that is important. Knowing how you'll behave and planning these things beforehand is 90%, because you don't want to be awake at night thinking, I should have acted this way, or I should have behaved that way. Already have it there, already have it programmed, already have it implemented, so that you're ready. Because that's all you need, just to be prepared, to know, to learn, to understand. And that's why I'm here for you, to help you understand your boundaries, how the behaviours you're willing to accept, the behaviours that you want to have, and the behaviours that are out there, so that you know what's going on. So I wish the best for you in the dating world, and if you need help, you know where to find me. Love is Blind UK Season 2 is finally out, and with so much to unpack. For those who do not know, Love is Blind is an experiment where they put people in pods where they cannot see each other. They can just speak to each other through a wall, share experiences, share anecdotes, and it's to see if they can fall in love that way. The problem with this, scientifically, is your senses warn you about another character. The way they smell, you pick up on their blood type, the compatibility, you hear the pauses, and you hear the inflections in their voice to tell you whether they're lying or not. Certain things about their appearance tell you about their health, and also whether they're lying or not. A lot of visual cues, a lot of compatibility things, a lot of things that you ignore when you're texting or electronic communication are the same things, the problems you have with Love is Blind. But it's a great show, it's a great experiment, and this season had a higher yes rate than I expected. Now, there are so many red flag behaviours, but we are going to start with the ones that did not actually make it to the altar. And actually, to be quite honest, one of my favourite. We have Anu and Patrick. Anu is a singer, Patrick is a spiritualist, which obviously I cannot say anything about. However, Patrick, unfortunately, like a lot of male religious spiritual figures, just aren't really aligned and talking about the spleen and his intuition and all this stuff, and yet he asks her to sing for him, and because she did not perform when he said, she wrote him a bloody song. She went through her heart and wrote him a song. She's like, I'm not ready now, but I have a song for you. He wouldn't hear her song because she didn't perform when he said now. 10 red flags just by that. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This woman wrote you a bloody song and you won't listen to it because the one time that you asked her to perform, she said no? Dodged a bullet, Anu. Dodged a bullet. Anyone that expects you to do what they say, and if you don't, they punish you for it, instant gone. Please, if you love and care about yourself, anyone that does that to you, sod off, do one. Like, seriously, she wrote you a song. He did not even let her sing it, but she did end up singing to him. You're a liar. Oh, that was one of the iconic moments. No, but yes, do not accept that behavior. Do not perform for someone on command. Like, that is just ridiculous. She dodged a bullet. So yeah, his little spleen, my spleen is telling me, what an idiot. The gut, okay, the energetic pulse, the brain is like a 1, the gut is like 3 times that, and the heart is like 5 times that. The spleen, it's not even there. Like, what are you talking about, man? Like, you don't, like, that tells me you don't know a lot about spirituality or the organs of your body. You are just making something that you want to make a trend, and it frustrates me because you're representing this figure of spirituality that people need to follow and pattern their behaviors, and you're an idiot. Like, I'm so glad that was on telly, and hopefully people see through that. Yes, I knew you called him out, you didn't hug him. I'm so proud of you. I do not condone making scenes, however, yeah, you handled that properly. You don't need to touch your body to his. He doesn't deserve any of that. I'm so proud of you. The fact that he's like, perform, oh, you don't want to perform for me? I'm done. I don't feel it. My spleen says it. You don't want that for the rest of your life. Are you kidding me? Okay, dodged a bullet. Now, then we have Katisha and Jevon. That one broke my heart a little bit, because I could see each instance that she did that made him less and less into her, when he was all for her in the beginning. He could have been. He was doubtful. Also with Damola, both of them, she did a similar thing to both of them, which made them both kind of turn against her. So take that as a note. When you do this, when you reject a fella and still want to be in a relationship with him, understand that a lot of them are only going to keep you around so they can punish you for what you did to them. Keep that in mind. Watch their behavior. Just because they want you at first, if you reject them, then it becomes a vendetta. So please pay attention. She told Damola first she was going to be with him. She said nothing was going to change overnight. The very next day she tells Jevon that she wants him. After she told him the night before that her feelings for Damola was stronger, she did it with both of them. That fickleness. Now, in the real world, obviously those things may not be an issue. You don't have to tell each of them about the feelings for somebody else now. But keep that as a lesson. When you reject them, especially in the beginning phase, it makes a deeper wound, and they will come back and they will try to hurt you. Even Damola did not have her back once he was out of the pod and he was talking about her. He was not favourable. So, yeah, they both had a vendetta against her. If she had not... It's natural to have fickle feelings, but inside thoughts. Until you make up your mind, you do not have to let anyone know a thing. And do not be forced to tell anyone either. Say, I don't know yet, I need to think on it, but do not say words that cannot be taken back if you respect and want, and like, you treasure that relationship. Remember, how you treat them, how they perceive your treatment of them, and how you respect them, especially with men. Respect is important. How you respect them with their peers in public have a big thing on how they treat you, because why are they going to keep someone around that disrespects them in front of their mates? They want to bring you around their mates, so they want you to do good things and make them look better. So keep that in mind. So Rova and Carl ironically said yes. He showed signs. He told her she wasn't his type. They could be buds. And the thing you have to realize, lovelies, a man has mates to have fun with. Well, to do activities with. So the attraction is actually a big part of a romantic relationship. It doesn't have to be the whole thing, but if a fella is not romantically attracted, physically attracted to his partner, it does create some issues. And even though he said yes with the heart of hoping that things would last, by the reunion they were split up. So he said there was no spark, meaning she wasn't his type, which we already knew from the very beginning, but they tried to force it. And the thing is, you have programming. Your brain has programming, and you can change it consciously, but if you don't go through the process, which Cal didn't, you can't just expect. Well, some people can, I won't say that, but there is a process of brain retraining. And if you need brain retraining, my Patreon videos are for helping you break habits and change your paradigms, etc., and things like that. Now, that being said, that one was kind of doomed, and I saw that from the beginning. Now, ironically, Barda and Jed, that one, I could see that one also because she was trying to be the masculine role, and she knew it bothered him to pay for things, but she did it anyway. And the thing is, if you want to be in a partnership, you have to make some sort of compromises, which is why I choose to stay single. But anyway, you have to respect the fact that he wants to take care of you, and so many women are okay with that. Now, yes, you can take care of yourself, but if he wants to, let him. Always have your resources and a backup, so that if anything happens, you're taken care of. Don't be paying for it. Don't be doing the 50-50 stuff. See, Barda she doesn't she doesn't. It's interesting because she's Eastern European, and she shouldn't be that way. But yeah, the culture isn't anyway. But yeah, that was kind of destined to fail because of the fact that she did not respect his. She had kept emasculating him, and if you want to be with a masculine fella, you can't emasculate him. That's just one thing. Now, for the final and most dramatic one, we have Megan and Kieran with the insert of Sophie, which Sophie also inserted herself kind of in Javon and Katisha's relationship, and Megan commented on it, which bothered me because she had no right to say the things that she did, and we saw from the finale or from the reunion that she was wrong, which means that she broke up their relationship already on shaky ground with somebody who was already fickle, filling her mind with things that she obviously, I wouldn't say lying, but she was misleading. She made up. And the thing is, she said every time I looked over, you were talking to Sophie. Well, the reason why that is because you were actually only watching Sophie, because Sophie was making you insecure, Megan, and because Kieran, you were afraid that Kieran was looking at Sophie, so you were looking at Sophie, which is why you always saw Sophie with Javon. And you made up stuff because you were jealous of Sophie. So unfortunately, that ruined Katisha's, and you shouldn't have gotten involved. That was none of your business. And I want my friend to tell me, if you know the truth, yes, I want you to tell me. But the thing is, Katisha, when she heard those things that Megan told her, she should have done more of an investigation than just taken her word on it and left. That is her fault. Like, there are so many bad behaviors, relationship behaviors I saw in all of these people. None of them, like, you don't just, if you care about somebody, you don't just accept someone's word on their behavior. Give them a chance to explain. Ask some other people that were there. Like, come on. Like, all of these people are disappointing. Get back to Megan and Karen with Sophie inserted. Sophie was just doing her thing. Flighty, beautiful butterfly, just doing her thing. She had, she doesn't have to spare anyone's feelings because she's single, which I understand. Now, the thing with Megan and Kieran, which bothered me, is Kieran is obviously DL. So obviously DL. Megan is a very masculine woman, which is part of the attraction and why he was so excited, I believe. Now, if you watch carefully, when they meet the best mate of Kieran, the longing gazes, the way he jealously looks at Megan, the way every time Kieran said something about his feelings about Megan, he would blink too much, his lips would purse, he looked jealous. When they hug, he hugged him like someone who had helped him to a climax. I'm telling you, Kieran and his best mate, they are together. She is a beard, Megan is a beard, if they last. But yeah, watch it. It's very obvious. The blinks, the pursing lips, the jealous looks, the hug. That was, and when they first get in there, it cuts really quickly, but when they first come into the room and greet, Kieran grabs his bum. Now granted, fellas play, but it wasn't like hey, what are you, it was like yeah. Watch that meeting very closely. Watch the interactions, actions, gestures, body language tell you everything. Watch it. So, Megan, you already have insecurities, which is why you were watching Sophie, which is why you broke up Katisha's relationship. But the insecurities that you're feeling, unfortunately, are because you subconsciously know that Kieran is in love with his best mate, and who knows how long it will take for you to figure this out. Hopefully there are no children involved, but you are married, so hopefully you get something out of it. Some people are okay with love intermarriages if they know they're in one, but Love is Blind does seem to attract a lot of, for lack of a better word, desperate women and DL men. So that combination, beards, it's just a load of beards, but not all of them, but a lot of them. But it's amazingly entertaining, and I did enjoy the season of Love Island UK. So let's wait for the next one. Thank you for bringing us another great season, Netflix, and I look forward to what you have next. Okay, so this week in Big Brother is erupting in chaos and control. Like, I'm not quite sure which way it's going, and I kind of like it. I really want to know what's going on. The relationship between Rachel and Keanu, the chemistry, the fact that it's such a love-hate push and pull. I love to watch it, and a part of me wants Keanu to stay in longer, but then if he's going to threaten Rachel, of course I want him to leave. Then we have Rachel Kelly, who is turning into the lone wolf. She feels she has allies, but because she is a masculine dominant female and she's burned the female bonds because she is unaware of her. She lacks self-awareness in the way she speaks to people, the way she acts, and how she offends people. So unfortunately, the women are kind of wash their hands of her. The men, because she's not the attractive one, they don't take her seriously. So she's become the lone wolf, but I don't know if she has realised that yet. So using this as a guide, if you did want these fellas to be fighting for you, you do have to spark their interest just a little bit. And the womanly wiles, you need to learn this. This is something to get your soldiers in line. Something that Lauren does naturally because she has a natural beauty, and because she does put that effort and that energy and puts in the makeup and does her hair and looks gorgeous. The men want to defend her, they want to protect her, they want to keep her in the game. Kelly, you see her. Anyway, which brings us to Vance, the Casanova. He is kind of a turncoat. He doesn't know, he has final twos with everyone. He burns all the women, and I'm scared for that because he's telling all of the women what they want to hear, and he is actually using them for his soldiers. He is talking them into saving him. He is actually the feminine energy, which is an interesting game tactic, which I am not bothered by, to be quite honest. It is quite genius if he can pull it off. However, if he burns Morgan and Rachel, they need to get him out. I mean, they've been trying to get him out for a while, but he keeps flip-flopping back and forth. So they trust him, and they don't trust him, they trust him, they don't trust him. That's what men do. Pay attention. Watch their actions. Do not listen to their words. He tells them all what they want to hear, but his actions are showing you where he lies for the moment. And you know, that brings us to Will, which is actually he's become the Night Rider, the dark horse, but that are flying under the radar. He knows when to speak. He knows when to. His social game is on point because he doesn't want to go on the block anymore. He's kept it in that he's found his lane and he's staying in it. I applaud him. If he keeps doing that, he can go all the way with Rachel. Because Ava's mind might be damaged because Keanu told her that Rachel was after her, Rachel might actually pair up with Will, although Will's burned her because he's a lad's lad. He's always trying to back the fellas, so that might be a risky move. But right now, because Ava thinks that Rachel backstabbed her, it's a little bit tricky waters with Ava. So right now, the final twos that Rachel have with Ava and Keanu, they're kind of tainted. Rachel doesn't have a strong final two right now, except for Ashley. Ironically enough, the dim-witted one, and she even admitted that she plays dumb, so she's doing a great job because I was worried. I was really worried. I was like, how is this woman an attorney? How? But yes, okay, hopefully she's playing it a lot because, yeah, anyway, enough said. She is a little bit ditzy, but she is the only ally that I see Rachel making it to the end with. However, she's not pissing anyone. Well, she did piss some people off with the shower, but not the ones in the jury. She's made it up since the jury, so we'll see what happens there. Ava is scaring me. She may get sacrificed because she's unconsequential and may make some. She may rear up to Rachel because she believes some of the things Keanu told her. Hopefully she does it, because if she really reads auras, she'll be able to tell who is on her side. Fingers crossed. Lauren, I respect Lauren's game. She's flying under the radar. She revamped a game. She's very nimble. She changes with the current. She still inspires loyalty, even from someone who is playing on the other side. Yeah, I think Lauren can go far if she works it right. So I'm rooting for Lauren. But then there's Morgan, and that's the one I'm scared for, because Morgan straddles that line. She's pretty, but she's not beautiful. She's feminine, but she's also masculine. She's intelligent, and she's also, she does not inspire the damsel instinct as much as Lauren does. So Vince may put Lauren above Morgan, which may push her out, displace her a little bit. Hopefully she can save her life like Kelly does. And then it's creating a house full of very masculine men, because I believe it's mostly women in there now. I think there are 5 women, 3 men, which are great odds, which means possibly a woman winner. Rachel, I'm rooting for you. My top is Rachel. My second is Lauren. And my third is Morgan, all women. Vince, he kind of ties with Morgan, but I don't like the way he's treating the women, so that's why I don't put him up there. But he is playing a respectable game. If I didn't disrespect him as a man. But yeah, so Big Brother is not disappointing. I believe they're throwing in some new stuff this week, so hopefully it will bring up some chemistry and some behaviours that I can chat about next week. But yeah, watch along with me so that you can follow along and enjoy it as well. And if you need to have any questions, leave them in the comments. Okay, my movie recommendation this week is A Working Man with Jason Statham. Still a dreamboat, and he plays Lavon Cade, a decorated military, former career in Black Ops. He's living a peaceful life when his employer, his boss's daughter, is kidnapped through human trafficking whilst at a nightclub. He goes and finds her and brings her home. It's action-packed. It's very fast-paced. It's fun. There is not really a romantic element, but it does have a lot of attractive people in there. It's something that you don't really have to watch too closely, so it is kind of good for a date night. It is something to watch by yourself as well. There isn't a load of crimson fluid, but there is some violence, so just be careful of the age range of who you watch it with, if that's a factor for you. But check it out, A Working Man, Jason Statham. I believe it might only be on Prime, but everybody has Prime, so check it out. Thank you for watching.
Making people laugh worldwide. Give it up for Varoga Leilani.
If Trump succeeds at changing the age of consent to 14, the only job a 14-year-old can legally have is parent. Concubine or concubinage, yes, it works both ways. The man can do it, why not a woman? Yes. I could use a house husband.
Oh, yes.
Who legally cannot drink, drive, or do anything without my consent. I could definitely be into that. Fresh, strong, eager, the constant morning wood. Drop me onto something. And the older foster children might find homes faster now. A house full of ripe lads could be fun. Chores, definitely get done. I'd keep them working hard throughout the long hours of the night. Suddenly having a family seems attractive. Hey, don't come for me. It's Trump's law. And we must learn to evolve with the times. Come on, these are just jokes.
And check out the latest from Aglorev Entertainment for all of your level up needs.